In 1621, English settlers and Wampanoag warriors shared a three-day feast at Plymouth, but this event, mythologized as the first Thanksgiving, obscures a more complex truth, one of survival alliances, cultural clashes, and competing colonial claims. Welcome to Clear Lens History, where we cut through the fog of time to reveal the unbiased truths of the past. Using data-driven insights and primary sources, we explore pivotal events that shaped our world. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to Clear Lens History for more content like this. In today's episode, we journey to early colonial America using colonial journals, ship manifests, and archaeological data. We'll uncover the reality behind the 1621 harvest celebration and examine why Plymouth's story overshadowed earlier events and Native American perspectives. The Plymouth colony's 1621 harvest marked a fragile turning point. After the devastating winter of 1620 to 1621, which claimed half the Mayflower's 102 passengers, the remaining 53 settlers reaped their first modest crop. Edward Winslow, writing in his 1622 account published in Mourt's Relation, described the event. Our harvest being gotten in, our governor sent 4 men on fowling. That's so we might after a more special manner rejoice together. Many of the Indians coming amongst us, and among the rest their greatest king, Massasoit, with some 90 men, whom for 3 days we entertained and feasted. The feast likely included venison from 5 deer provided by the Wampanoag, along with waterfowl, fish and corn, quite different from modern holiday traditions. Archaeological excavations at Plymouth sites have uncovered shellfish remains and corn kernels, supporting these contemporary accounts. Yet this wasn't a formal Thanksgiving as we understand it today. No religious proclamation designated it as such. It was a secular harvest festival, blending English traditions with Wampanoag customs of communal feasting. The Wampanoag, led by Mequin, known to the English as Massasoit, outnumbered the settlers nearly 2 to 1, with 90 warriors attending. Their participation stemmed from a mutual defense treaty signed in March 1621. From a Wampanoag perspective, this was no harmonious celebration. European diseases introduced by earlier explorers had already devastated their population from over 12,000 down to approximately 2,000 by 1620. Mequin's alliance was strategic, protecting his weakened people from rival tribes whilst assessing these new arrivals. Within decades, this fragile cooperation collapsed into King Philip's War from 1675 to 1676, where Mequin's son, Metacom, led resistance against English expansion, resulting in thousands of native deaths and the near destruction of Wampanoag autonomy. However, Plymouth's 1621 gathering wasn't America's first Thanksgiving. That distinction belongs to Virginia, 2 years earlier. On December 4th, 1619, 38 English settlers arrived at Berkeley Hundred along the James River under Captain John Woodleaf. Their charter, issued by the Berkeley Company, explicitly mandated, "We ordain that the day of our ship's arrival at the place assigned for plantation in the land of Virginia shall be yearly and perpetually kept holy as a day of thanksgiving to Almighty God." Captain Woodleaf conducted a simple prayer service upon landing, marking the first documented English Thanksgiving in the colonies. No feast occurred, just solemn gratitude for safe passage after a perilous 2.5-month Atlantic crossing. Colonial records from the Virginia Company archives confirm this event, predating Plymouth by nearly 2 years. Yet Berkeley Hundred faded from memory after the 1622 Powhatan attack that killed 9 settlers and forced abandonment of outlying settlements. The Berkeley Thanksgiving was purely religious, focused on arrival and divine protection. Plymouth's was secular, celebrating successful harvest and diplomatic relations. Both marked European foothold in territories that would devastate indigenous populations through disease, warfare, and displacement. Why did Plymouth's narrative dominate? 19th century nation-building played a crucial role. During the Civil War era, writers like Sarah Josepha Hale campaigned for a national Thanksgiving holiday, romanticizing the Plymouth story to foster unity. Hale's 1863 letter to President Lincoln helped establish the federal holiday, emphasizing peaceful Pilgrim Indian relations amid national division. This mythology ignored Virginia's prior claim, whilst glossing over native dispossession and cultural destruction. The romanticized tale persisted through school curricula, perpetuating sanitized views that served national identity rather than historical accuracy. Alexander Young, the Unitarian minister who coined the term First Thanksgiving in 1841, shaped public memory by connecting Plymouth's harvest feast to contemporary holiday traditions. Modern demographic data reveals the long-term consequences. By 1700, European diseases and conflicts had decimated 90% of New England's indigenous populations. Today's Wampanoag descendants, numbering approximately 5,000, observe Thanksgiving as a national day of mourning, commemorating lost lands and cultures. The chains of mythology bind us to harmonious narratives that obscure conquest's brutal realities. Plymouth's three-day feast was a momentary alliance born of necessity. Barclay's was a religious observance of survival. Both marked the beginning of colonial expansion that would transform a continent whilst erasing native voices. Through primary sources and archaeological evidence, we see how selective storytelling transforms survival into symbolism. Understanding these competing claims, Virginia's religious observance and Plymouth's diplomatic feast, reveals how national myths emerge from historical fragments, chosen not for accuracy, but for their power to unite and inspire. The true First Thanksgiving remains debatable, but the consequences of both events are undeniable. The systematic displacement of indigenous peoples and the establishment of colonial narratives that persist today. Thanks for watching Clear Lens History. Subscribe for more data-driven explorations of the past.